Now I know this video isn't like my normal videos. Normally I do rant style videos, but this time I wanted to experiment and do something different. So let's just get right into this subject. So in order to understand the subject, we have to first understand what YouTube is about. Now YouTube, when it first started, was about the creators. It was about letting you create whatever you wanted and put whatever you wanted out there. But over the time, YouTube has changed into this completely different beast than it once was back when it first launched, and frankly, YouTube has lost sight of the creators. It's more than willing to toss us under the bus when it comes to big controversies. There's more than willing to get rid of us and just not care about the smaller creators. And frankly, I think that's just going to cause a big shift in mentality of how people watch YouTube, or how many people actually use YouTube going on in the future. Now, to go deeper into this subject, we have to go to see what exactly started this. And frankly, since there's no actual problem that we can actually pinpoint that caused YouTube's turn, we can look at events that happen on YouTube that did shift this platform away from the creator, to shift YouTube's mentality more towards, of course, media influencers, or of course just talk show hosts and actors and just stars, everything that they're promoting. It's the opposite of what YouTube was about, and so I want to make this video about it. Let's get into it. Now, my first findings of the biggest event on YouTube that did change the platform against creators was the Adpocalypse. Now, the Adpocalypse affected not only small creators but also affected big creators. And it not only showed that YouTube was willing to toss aside their creators, it showed that YouTube was willing to bend the knee by tossing aside its biggest creator, PewDiePie at the time, who was known as an edgy content creator, and still is to this day. But at the time, the Wall Street Journal attacked him for his edgy content, and it affected the platform in the long run, where it forced advertisers to leave, and that forced YouTube to change its rules against any edgy content creators. Now, if you're an edgy content creator at the time, you would have been screwed, which many creators were screwed at the time. So it just got worse from there, and that's not even adding up to what happened in mid-year, which a lot of YouTubers were starting to complain about YouTube's rules because a lot of people's channels were getting deleted and they were just becoming more and more pot-like with the responses. But hey, that's them, so they could do whatever they want. And of course, that wasn't the only issue. Another issue that occurred was when YouTube wasn't recommending certain creators to people, even if they were subscribed and had the alert button. People weren't being alerted to their videos, and certainly they were trying to hide certain channels that were edgy at the time, which you could pretty much imagine to those content creators that it damages them. Not only do they make less views, but they also make less revenue, less ads, so it hurts them. And what do these channels do? They either quit or leave to a different platform, and that's what happened to most of the time. And it just got worse and worse for people, and it really hurt the smaller creators at the time too. And to be honest, people still feel the Adpocalypse to this day. So that was just another huge event. But now we're going to be getting into something that truly did show that YouTube was going into a different direction completely. And that, to be honest, was YouTube Rewind 2017. Now, I have to say this, YouTube Rewind, when it first started, it was meant to celebrate YouTube, to celebrate what the YouTubers have done. Now, while they have had celebrities be on YouTube Rewind before, YouTube's Rewind 2017 was really where it's all started, where really the whole problem started. But I'm not going to say it's what started the trend of having big name celebrities on YouTube Rewind and having YouTube actually push the celebrities. No, that all happened in 2017 when they actually started to push more talk show hosts. And frankly, it got so out of hand in 2017 because YouTube recommendations were practically full of talk show hosts. And honestly, even during the big controversy with PewDiePie, there's still things that people were calling out that were double standards for the talk show hosts on YouTube, because apparently their networks were pushing videos out that YouTube would take down if it was a normal YouTuber, of course. But hey, double standards, right? For your own creators, but don't push them on celebrities. Okay, now you can see what the big problem is for people. And you could also see that it was a big disconnect between the viewers as well, because YouTube 2017 is really where the downward spiral began with the dislike bar. Even in 2016, it wasn't even bad. While sure there were some dislikes, it wasn't as bad as it got as 2017 or 2018. And I'm going to bring up 2019 in a little later on in this video, but we'll get to that later. But it's really important to understand that the big push with celebrities is really what showed the big disconnect with YouTube and its content creators. Now, of course, you could also judge with YouTube Red that was the big reason why they started to push more celebrities, so they could have their own shows on YouTube Red. But honestly, that never worked out for them, because YouTube Red, it wasn't even a huge success. In fact, it didn't really go anywhere. It was just meteoric at best. So what do you have when you have, of course, these big name celebrities that you have on your platform that are now starting channels because, of course, they have to maintain their celebrity status? Then you have YouTube pushing them in favor. And who took the place of PewDiePie in YouTube 2016? It was Rock. Who took his place in 2017? Of course, it was none other than one of the talk show hosts. So that's really when it all went downhill. Now, they were really disconnected in 2017 because they started to push more non-YouTubers. I mean, they started to push Ninja. They started to push Will Smith. And that really shows how big YouTube has been disconnected for a while now. And honestly, it hasn't gotten any better. It hasn't. So this is just something I've been noticing throughout the trends on YouTube. Just with the rewind, it hasn't been the same. It hasn't. YouTube Rewind has been showing how they don't really care anymore. Now, of course, you have YouTube Rewind 2019, which is the most recent YouTube Rewind. And of course, that was none other than a Watch Mojo video. And people were pissed even then. Not pissed because it pushed non-YouTubers, but pissed because it lacked any effort. Now, if you compare that to the previous YouTube Rewinds, all of them have effort. YouTube Rewind was just a compilation video of other videos. It wasn't this big collaborative effort that they used to put their efforts into, and that pissed a lot of people off during 2019. And honestly, they were beyond pissed. They were just, a lot of people were just curious as to what happened at YouTube. This was the event that showed that they actually cared about the creators. This was the event that showed they paid attention. But now people associate that with they don't even care, which is the biggest problem right now that YouTube is facing. And honestly, this can lead to the point where if YouTube doesn't actually change their attitude to how they actually treat their creators, they will have probably people leaving more than ever before. And honestly, that can change YouTube by a landslide. Look how it's already affecting Twitch. They're already losing viewers because people are switching platforms. And it will happen with YouTube. YouTube will lose what made them popular. So I'm just going to leave that there. And now we're going to be talking about, of course, the big one. We're going to be talking about the cop-out incident, which has recently affected YouTubers. So let's get into it. Now this is the big one I've been meaning to talk about, the COPA incident, the one that is going to change this platform forever, and with its new policy changes. Now, to get into this, I have to get into a bit of the law. Now, there's a rule out there on the internet. No advertiser or company is allowed to get any child information out there. Now, the problem is that YouTube got caught with their pants down. Now, YouTube stupidly advertised a video to kids out there. Now, this is nothing new to us, because we know that of course YouTubers have tried to push their own, of course, advertisement. I mean, look at Jake Paul, for instance. He tried to advertise to kids, and that didn't really work out for him because he got a whole lot of backlash for it. But no, this is different. This was actual advertisers advertising to kids, gain access to their information, to their, of course, to their channels. Now, COPA came in with the hammer and told YouTube no, they had to stop this. Now, in turn, YouTube had to implement new rules for, of course, kid-friendly channels. Now, any channels that advertise kids, of course, got hit hard with this. But the problem is, with YouTube's rules, how they've been changing, how they've been going against educators, where does that leave you? They want to sanitize this platform. They want to make this, of course, family-friendly for advertisers. But advertisers can't advertise to kids. And now that COPA came in and laid the smackdown, of course, who gets affected? Not YouTube, because they don't want to deal with this. But they leave it on us. They leave it on us and our content. Now in favor, now we have to make sure our videos don't appeal to kids, or else we lose features for our channels. And we can't be too edgy, or else we don't get any advertising. So where is that middle ground that YouTube wants us? Because they're not telling us. They're not being clear on what they want us to do. And that's hurting us in the long run. And of course, they still implemented new rules recently, which I'm going to get into in the end of this video. So of course, this is going to hurt YouTube channels in the long run. You can't appeal to kids. You can't do anything that's for kids. And of course, I've heard the rumor that, of course, that people at COPA are going to be manually reviewing videos to make sure they follow with the new rules. And this is the law. So now that YouTube has just shown they also don't care about us at this time, they're willing to push us aside just so they don't have to cover us. They don't want to deal with us when it comes to the law. They'd rather just push us under the bus, let the law take action. And you know what the new law is? If you get caught, if you advertise kids, you get fined a couple $1,000s. I believe it's $3,000, but I'm not going to get too into that because that's a whole another video topic on in of itself. But this is just one incident of YouTube just utterly just throwing us under the bus and not telling us, not being clear with us. But hey, I'm going to get into that final rule. So yeah, let's get into that. Now, as of recently, YouTube has implemented a new rule against bullying. Now, YouTube isn't clear on what it defines as bullying. It is never clear on its rules, and that is the thing that hurts us the most, is when it's not clear. Because frankly, YouTube first implemented this rule a few weeks ago. YouTube started taking down older videos that wouldn't have been applied to this rule. And they said that older videos wouldn't be affected. But yet here we have older videos actually being affected and being taken down by YouTube. So at the end of the day, what classifies as bullying? Because when the video that they had taken down, or two known videos, were one by Gokunaro, which was called The Death of H3H3, and of course we have the Leafy video, which was made by iDubbbz way back when. So here we have two prominent big YouTubers who had videos made on them. that were taken down for quote-unquote bullying. Now, of course, I know that you're not really allowed to make fun of people on this platform now because that's the new rule. But the problem is, when you put yourself out here on the YouTube, you open yourself to that kind of criticism. You open yourself up to being made fun of. It's the same thing that goes on with, of course, the talk show hosts, which this brings me back to the double standards that they have, where the talk show hosts are making fun of like big people like Trump, of course. And well, when you have that, that's perfectly fine. But yet they won't allow that for big YouTubers. When you put yourself out there, you become a celebrity, and you open yourself up to that kind of criticism. That's why we're on an open platform. We choose to put ourselves out there, and yet they act like this is bullying somehow, even though there's talk show hosts which they prominently have featured on the recommendations, of course, with like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, all of them, and yet YouTube videos that just poke fun at YouTubers, it counts as bullying. You see where I'm getting at? YouTube isn't clear with what it wants, with what its rules are. It wants us to struggle. It doesn't care about us. It just wants to sanitize this platform for themselves. It wants to be more monetary gain. It doesn't care about the creators like it used to. And that is my problem with YouTube at the current time. So I just wanted to make the video because I feel like YouTube has been out of touch with what YouTube used to be and what YouTube is currently. And frankly, I don't know if I will be on this platform, because this platform honestly is just, it gets worse every single year with every new rule. With every time they show that they don't care about us, they make it more difficult to even grow an audience. So that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this new type of style that I'm doing, because frankly, I might try this in the future. So peace.